What's going on? Back with the second game of the Titans or Greeks versus Luke and Nidintu series. This is game 2, obviously, and now the factions are switched, so now Luke has Macedon and Nidintu Rome against Cleo and Dio with Greece and Rome.
Yes, so
the armies?
we have 14 and 6 Rome, and I've decided to go with 10, 5, and 5 Macedon. We've got a lot of upgrades on our spearmen. The idea here was sort of to just spread out our archers more because we have more cavalry, draw the archer war, and then sort of hold the Spartans and wait until they get low enough that we can exploit holes with our superior cavalry force and rout these ribbons. So that was our plan going into the game.
Yes,
Perhaps with a bit more experience we would have come up with a bit of a different plan. We didn't really have games in this matchup, or even really many games together in 31K, but that's what we came up with for this one. If you want to go over the Greeks armies.
Yep, so it looks like the blue...
That's 8.
No, the blue...
Oh, I see.
The blue people here, it's going to be Cleo with Rome, and he has, looks like, just regular 14 and 6. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so yeah, 8, 8, and 12 here for Dio. Looks like the Cretans are just gold attack. So the Spartans are probably mostly GG.
They're all
GG, yeah. And yep, so pretty standard armies here. 8, so you will have the 8 versus 5 Cretan advantage. But like you said, spreading out with the better cav force will allow it to be a little easier to draw, because you can see right now how compact the Cretans are for Greece.
Right. Although it is still 8 on 5.
Yeah.
Could be a bit rough. Especially on the units that they're able to double. I think I moved up here to try and get some shots on the Spartan hoplites, but we weren't able to get any there. So they're just advancing slowly.
And you guys are pulling back there just a bit, reforming.
Just a bit. I believe, I don't really remember why we did this, if I'm being 100% honest. Perhaps because I came up with my Cretans, I wanted to reform them before I got into this archer war. Or maybe I just was set on getting a shot on this from minus buttons. Who knows? I'm just going to double speed because not much is going on. Alright, so we are officially in the archer war as of now.
And you can see that the Macedonian Cretans are going to have slightly better angles, getting a little bit of side shots and just obviously less blobbed. But there are 8 Greek Cretans, so it's gonna be a bit of a tough fight.
In hindsight, I should have gone for the completely spread archer formation. I don't know why I didn't, but I guess it's behind us. Now there's just a bit of jockeying for position. Greece wants to rush Rome, obviously, and Rome would like to Pila Macedon. So we're just going to put Rome in front so they can't do that. And we're going to, I guess, Pila Cleo, or do that quite soon. And it's developing a bit slow, but it is a sort of grindy type game, so it should be a little on the slower side. So Dio is just going to rush forward and not even give us a chance to exchange Pila with Rome. We were able to save an urban cohort from getting Pila rushed here. Spartan rushed. And in fact, we were able to pull out everything, and we put a line of royals here to engage the Spartans. So we kind of got the better out of that. We were able to Pila Greece and not take any losses practically on our urbans.
Yeah, you can see quite a few Spartans actually did die there. It's pretty good for the opening joust there.
Of course, we're a bit short on Pila now to kill Urbans, and Urbans will be pretty tough to kill with Royal Pikemen, so
Yeah.
that is an issue. And we are losing the Archer War.
Yeah.
Definitely could have done better to spread out. And it's
But you
going
can see
to
that the Greeks did also reform their archers. Once archers started dying, they kind of reformed it along the lines, which probably helps a little bit as well.
Sure. And I've gone into loose with my first line to take Pila better. So at the moment, no combat going on. That's in Distudo first lines.
Yep, just jockeying for position.
Now, I think if we were to do this again, we would conserve royals and just let them chew through and Pila Urbans more, because royals in the endgame against tired Urbans and Spartans would be able to pretty much kill everything. But I was sort of inexperienced pike player at this point, so you know, there's always things that can be improved from series to series. Here we probably had an opportunity to get into these archers a bit, and we almost do that. I should have been more active here with my cavalry killing you, because those archers are going to be a bit bothersome. I managed to poke these Spartans, and they're going to pull back a bit. But I will probably receive some Pila here, yes. And I go into loose the last second, but that's not really helpful.
Taking a lot of casualties there.
Yes.
And on this left flank too, then if those Urbans have Pila, but probably not going to try to get just Pila a little bit. But you do go on the loose at the last second. Again.
So both sides have spent a considerable portion of Pila, but we are getting some nice Pila shots on their frontline Urbans here. And to this point, I think we have gotten the better of the Pila exchanges and early melees, but the game becomes a bit grindier from here on in.
And it seems like the Spartans have all located over to this right flank, leaving these Urbans in the center here, where there's just a couple of royals and some Urbans, but most of the Spartans are over there on the right. And then you can see your cab is over there, trying to kind of flank around here and be a nuisance, but
this is too big of a flank. I should have flanked a bit closer in, but I was a bit worried about getting shot. But the idea is essentially to conserve the cavalry and just use them once the Spartans have lost a bit of their numbers, and it's easier to find gaps. But
now kind of the main engagement over here, we can see that Nid charged into some of those Urbans here. He has good numbers on that flank though, so those Urbans are pulling back over there, kind of reforming with the rest of their group.
The situation here is that Cleo's Urbans are in Testudo, which means that they will not kill any of our units, and we will kill more of them, but they will have the fatigue advantage the longer that this sword fight goes on, and it should go on for a pretty long time, so that's not optimal for us. We could have probably struck there, but we didn't get the planning on time, and we just didn't.
Yeah, well now the Spartans are there kind of blocking off
Yes.
any attempts.
So in the middle there's sort of a chaotic sword fight going on, and we should be getting better the early salvos here, but the longer it goes on again, the worse it will be for us, because we are out of guard mode. So I've condensed my pike formation a bit because they don't do well in sword fights, so I'm just making a defense here. But as you can see, we've already sort of lost a considerable portion of our infantry, and blue will be able to push in with Testudos here and wear down my pikemen, whereas our infantry force is a bit more scattered. And they will be able to essentially block off everything with Spartan hoplites while my pikes are getting killed slowly. So less than optimal.
Yeah, and the Spartans have practically not engaged since the first beginning, and they're just like holding and blocking any attempts from Cav, and it's pretty much like you can see, it's pretty much a box, but just waiting for the royals to get grinded down by these urbans, and you can see he goes into Testudo now, and he might try to push through.
Yeah, so far my royals have done a good job, and they haven't been in any sword fights, but or at least not for a while, not since I condensed. But as you can see right here, they're starting to get poked through a bit, and they will lose in sword range very decisively. So I should have actually crumpled down my box, my pike line even more, and made sure that nothing could penetrate like through here in the center. This is very bad.
Looks like Nid charged in some of his own urbans to try to counter that, but they're already kind of inside the lines. And you look at you reformed again.
Yeah.
These Testudos are sort of breaking through.
If my royal, if their urban numbers were a bit lower, they wouldn't be able to push through, and Spartans can't really push through pikes either. So it would have been probably better to engage Cleo a little bit more, and from the get-go, and wear him down with infantry. But it's actually going all right because all of these urban units are pretty much just getting caught up in this pocket here, and there's a small number that are actually getting to be into the sword fight. My pikes have actually done a pretty good job of keeping their distance. I have lost a bit of cavalry due to archer fire because they won the archer war, but it is at the point where I want to be in range to make any strikes when Dio inevitably joins the melee assault. This cavalry unit has also suffered a bit, so even though we have more cavalry in terms of numbers, they're actually healthier, so we're not able to body them in the cavalry realm as heavily as before. This is a point in the game where I really should have condensed more. I've got Testudos threatening to push through my entire line. This is very, very bad. I essentially should have been in one body in this point here, but I didn't know whether Cleo still had Pila. So this is essentially the point at which things start to deteriorate a bit. This line is completely trashed.
Just so thin. Those urbans will go in and burst out and be pretty solid. Nidintu will commit some, but now the Spartans are also trying to commit in here, and
yes, this is not quite good. I should have kept reforming here. This is also not good. This is still way too wide. But again, 31k learning curve is a bit steep, so didn't know quite everything to do at this point. So yes, they're still pushing through right here, and they're winning there, but
yeah, and again, like the Spartans are really not allowing you guys to strike anywhere in the rear of those urbans that are trying to push through, and they're just creating this defensive wall. And yeah, and it really allows them to pick where they want to engage. Like over here on the right, they've stopped their engagement because the left is so much weaker, and they can just kind of sit there, and you can only like retreat and fall back and reform.
Yeah, the infantry war is sort of suffering at the moment. So we're still getting some good points, but these Spartans will be able to support against these urbans and be able to kill them pretty swiftly. So at the moment, we've just lost too many pikemen.
Yeah, now Spartans are starting to surround here and threaten the rear, which obviously would not be good if they can get into the back and start poking them in the back. But yeah. And again, these cav are in front of the Greeks' cav, but they can't really commit on anything because the Spartans are just walling them off. And all they can do is kind of just ensure that the Scipii cav can't enter the fray, which would be even worse. It's like they're trying to commit and just kill them off.
And it shows the respect that they have for our cavalry skills because we actually have fewer cavalry here. So yes, now it's pretty much do or die. My pikes are routing, so we need to see how much damage we're able to do with our cavalry in a very short period of time. it really doesn't look good for us at the moment. Um, so yeah, I would blame my pike management as the main source of our defeats, although my archer management was also not optimal. So
Great
that's pretty
God,
much
we
GG.
played! The enemy general is
Mopping up.
killed! Fear makes a home in our
So
enemies'
that puts
hearts!
the overall series at 1 apiece, with both sides scoring fairly decisive infantry engagement victories. Um,
Yep. Now the Spartans will just clean up and yeah, pretty decisive. But
This is a
onto the
dark
third
day.
game. Again,
Even
it's
the
just gonna switch back
staunchest
and forth
efforts
in
of
the
our
next game.
soldiers.
The factions will just be switched back, and we will see you then.